There are many ways to make money in the financial market. You can be a day trader, you can be a scalper, you can be an intraday trader, or you can be a swing trader like me. The most efficient way to make a lot of money in the financial market is by spending a very short amount of time in front of the computer screen to find the trade opportunity is being a swing trader. So in this video, I am going to show you the highest profitable swing trading strategy that I have developed in the last 6 years, and I will go through all the steps that you need to follow in order to master this strategy to make a lot of money in the market by only spending 1 to 2 hours a day. So if you are new to the channel, guys, please consider liking this video and hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. With that being said, let's dive into today's video. So we have opened up a US dollar Japanese yen chart. As you can see that I am in this trade for the buy side, and I have been in this trade for around 3 to 4 days. So in this video, I am going to show you why I took this trade from here, why I put my stop loss here, and why my target is above here. I will walk you through all the steps that I followed to take this trade. Step number 1, I always like to analyze the market from the higher time frame, which is daily in my example. On the daily time frame, I like to find the overall market structure. So this is my step number 1, that I always analyze the overall market direction. I find out that where the currency pair is heading on the higher time frames. Once I do that, I then move on to my step number 2, which is to move down to 4-hour time frame to find the pullbacks. Because if we want to buy, we definitely need a better price. We can never buy from any price. We need the overall buyer's trend, and then we need a pullback inside that buyer's trend. So when we get a pullback, the third step that I do is to move down to 1-hour time frame, which is even lower time frame than 4-hour, and then I look for the trade opportunity, I look for the trade signals. It's a very simple technique and it will be very easy for you to understand. So let's start the first step, which is to go to daily time frame to find out the overall market direction. So on a daily time frame, we can see the overall market direction on US dollar Japanese yen pair is for the upside. Now as we can see that we have been going up for a very long period of time, but it does not mean that we will start buying from any price level. We need a proper market structure. So we have a very strong movement on the daily time frame for the upside on US dollar Japanese yen chart. Now here is the thing. Now we know that we are in the uptrend on a daily time frame. So what we need to do on the daily time frame is to find the support and resistance area or the key levels from where we can potentially have a reversal if we start to get a pullback on 4-hour time frame. So let me show you. Here you can see that in a very recent market, we broke this level of resistance to the upside, and we have a demand zone or a high low area here. Alright, after this, when we broke to the upside, we created this higher high. So when we created this higher high, I'm going to mark it. We have a higher high here, and where we have a higher low right here, because after we created this higher low, market made a movement to the upside. So we have a higher low here. So we are definitely not going to consider these previous higher highs and high lows, because we have new higher high, then a higher low, then break of this resistance to the upside, and we then created a resistance area or a higher high area. So we have identified the support and resistance or the higher highs and high low sequence on the daily time frame, and that is the whole thing we need to do on the daily time frame. We should not be putting so much time on the daily time frame, because the main work starts on the 4-hour time frame, which will be our step 2. So we have completed our step 1, which is to identify the overall market structure, the overall trend on the daily time frame. Now let's move on to the step 2, which is to move down to 4-hour time frame to see where we have a proper pullback or whether we have a pullback or not. So let's move down to 4-hour time frame. So on 4-hour time frame, these are the areas. This was the resistance area which we broke to the upside and created this higher high. And when we created this higher high, you can see that we made a pullback on 4-hour, and there is definitely a visible pullback. We came towards this level of resistance which we recently broke to the upside. It was also the previous higher high. We retested it, and then the buyers, they made a movement to the upside. So when we made a movement to the upside, I could have taken a buy position from here. I did not do that because that would have been a very risky trade. Why is that? Let me give you an example. Let's say that you are a buyer. You have this big uptrend and the market makes a small pullback, like one single movement to the downside, and buyers make a movement to the upside again. So when all of this is happening, do you consider this as a sell movement? I would say no. Nobody will consider this as a sell movement. Then sellers will do this. They will make another pullback. Would you say that now we have turned from buyers to sellers? I would say no, because the overall trend is still the buyers. We can clearly see, even everyone can see that. So here we have the same thing. We have been going up for a very long period of time, and this whole movement, this very small pullback, is a very small movement inside the overall buyers movement. So we are not going to consider this pullback, and the reason being, we want to buy. So if we want to buy, we need people to turn into sellers. So the overall trend, which is buyers in this example, can continue their movement to the upside again. So here, this pullback or this small pullback would not cause people to turn into the sellers. In fact, everyone who was waiting for the buy from this support and resistance, they are just going to buy from here, and we want them to buy from here because we want a lot of people to turn into the wrong side of the market direction first. That means let them buy here, or when the overall buyers market, when they will look for a better price to buy, we will buy with them. So what has happened, that after we broke this resistance to the upside, we created this higher high. Look what happened. We never really made a higher high again. We got rejected from here, and then the sellers, they started to go down again. So that is what we need. We want people to be confused. We want people to look for this as a sell instead of a buy. Everyone was interested in buying from here. Now what is going to happen, that as we have not broke this resistance level and we are now going for the downside, so everyone who was looking to buy from here or from here or from here, they are now confused, and they think as the pullback to the downside has started, which is a good thing for us, so they are now thinking that this might be the end of the buyer's trend and the seller's trend is now going to resume. But we know that the daily time frame, the overall market structure is for the buy side, and all of this is just happening on the 4-hour as a pullback, and we need a strong pullback. We need people to first turn into the sellers so we can buy with the overall trend. So when the sellers are making the movement to the downside, we have already crossed below this high-low area, which is a great thing because this was the area which became support after testing this resistance, and this was the activation area for the buyers. So because the market has broken this level to the downside, now people are looking to sell because they think that this is now the starting point of the new trend, which is the sell. So what they are going to do, they will wait for the market to make some sort of test from here. You can see this very small support level, which then became a resistance. They are selling from here, they are taking the sells, and everyone is now getting involved in the sell side. While on the other hand, the overall market, which is for the buy side on daily time frame, they are just waiting to see that how much people are going to first turn into the sell so they can continue their movement to the upside. So what is going to happen? A lot of people will start selling from here, from every support which will then become a resistance. They will just start selling again and again and again. We know that we have a very nice support level right here. So we already know that this was the price which made the movement to the upside, which then broke this previous higher high. We broke this resistance or a higher high and created this new resistance or a higher high, and this was the area from where the market to the upside started. So we have a lot of sellers here. You can see people were selling from here, people were selling from here. So everyone, or the majority of the world, which is basically the 90% of the traders who always lose, they are selling. They are interested in taking a sell position on US dollar Japanese yen, maybe from 15-minute time frame or from 1-hour time frame. But we as a swing trader who like to trade with the overall market direction, which is basically the direction from the daily time frame, we are waiting for them to turn into the sell so we can buy. So what is going to happen? The moment we have tested this level of support from where the movement to the upside happened, just compare this movement from here to all of this movement. You can clearly see the difference. The buyers here were very strong, but the sellers here, they are very weak. Like they have been taking a lot of time to even come towards this level. So what is going to happen, as this is all the pullback from here to here, so we are just waiting for the market to give us any kind of signal. What will be our signal? So when the market, it reached this support level, you can clearly see that we tried to go below it. We tried to go below this area. From here, we failed. We then again tried to go lower than this area, we failed. We tried the third time we fail, we need at least twice rejections at this support level, because it's a key support level for us, because this was the price which made a very strong movement to the upside inside this overall buyer's market from the daily time frame. So when we have these multiple rejections, what I did, I went down to 1 hour time frame, which is basically our step 3 and our final step. So when I went down to 1 hour time frame, I knew that this is the area from where we have been getting rejecting a lot of the times. So I could have bought from here, but I did not, because I knew that we also have a resistance area here. And this resistance area is also holding the market to go up, because when buyers they try to go higher than this area, buyers failed and they made the sellers to go down. They made the sellers to go down again, then they did that again. So this resistance area is playing a key role in holding the market to the downside. As I know that we have been getting rejected at that support level from the 4 hour time frame, which is this area that made a strong movement to the upside. I know that we have been getting rejected at this area, but I also want to see the market to first break this resistance level. So I will have no issue whatsoever in taking a buy. So the moment it broke to the upside, I just waited for the market to retest it. And when it retested this level, I entered for the buy position. I placed my stop loss just below the overall rejections area from that support level. And my target is at the higher high of the daily time frames. So this is how my trade looks like on the daily time frame. You can clearly see that we have a very strong movement to the upside. We have a buyer's trend. We have been making higher highs and higher lows for a very long period of time. On 4 hour time frame, we made a very big pullback to the downside, which turned a lot of people into the sell side. And the moment we came towards this level of key support level, which made the very last movement to the upside, and it was also a very strong movement to the upside. The moment the market reached towards this level, we started to get rejected. We got rejected 3 times. Then I moved down to 1 hour time frame. I waited for the market to just break the last hurdle, which was this resistance level. The moment we broke it to the upside, I just waited for the market to give me any sort of a better price, like a retest to this resistance level. Then I immediately took a position for the buy side, and it only took me around 15 to 20 minutes to analyze the overall market structure. I know we have to wait a lot if we want to take a swing trade, but the benefits on the other hand are very great. I only had to spend like 20-25 minutes, and I have made a lot of profit by just sitting back, chilling and doing nothing. So this is the power of swing trading. My stop loss is now sitting at this area. I remember that I put my stop loss at 128.500, and now my trade is risk free, and the buyers, they are already making a very strong movement to the upside. So I hope that you guys got a lot of value out of this video. I tried to show you the perfect way to swing trade. I broke down my strategy into 3 steps. The daily time frame, which is step 1, where we find the overall market structure. The 4 hour time frame, which is step 2, where we find the pullback. Then the 1 hour time frame, which is step 3, and the last step, where we need to find the trade signal and we place our trade, place our stop loss and our take profit. So if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.